Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to Old World. Old World is a 4X game in the vein of Civilization created by Mohawk Games, and that is the studio led by Soren Johnson. If you're familiar with that name, he used to work for Asus and was the lead designer on Civilization 4. Mohawk Games also made Off-World Trading Company about 6 years ago. Now, Old World has actually been out for a year on Steam, on the Epic Games Store, and is just released today on Steam. And it's been out in early access for a little while before it was on the Epic Games Store, I think. I do remember seeing bits about this game quite some time ago now, and I was looking out for it. I do use Epic Games. I'm not one of those people that just will only ever buy something on Steam, but in all fairness, I don't check the Epic Store regularly to see what's new, so it kind of flew under my radar. But now that it's out on Steam and I sort of saw it pop up and I've been looking for a new game to play, I thought I'd go in. I haven't played anything of this before, so I'm going to be jumping into the tutorials first, hopefully get through them quite quickly, and then I'll start a full game in a separate series. So this is just going to be a little mini series of the tutorial, just learning how the game works. There will be some similarities to Civ, and I know there are some differences. There's also some character-based stuff, so it's a little bit like Crusader Kings in that respect. But let's go in and see what we have. There are 5 tutorial scenarios. So what does it give us here? So just read this one, because most of the text is copied between these tutorials. So tutorial 1 is the Old World. Old World takes place in classical antiquity, focused around the Mediterranean Sea and the Middle East, where you lead one of 7 nations who left their mark on history. You begin with a single settler and must forge an empire in a world filled with already developed nations. This is the first in a series of tutorials to help you learn the basics of Old World. These tutorials will cover not cover everything in the game, but will walk you through the basics of ruling your nation. Pop-up windows will present you with information you need to get started. Along the way, you will be given goals to accomplish. Completing these goals will give you practical experience leading a nation. Okay, let's get going. I know what to expect here. This game does have quite a lot of licensed music, but there is an option to disable the licensed music for streaming and video recording, so that's good. Okay, here we are. In Old World, you will explore the map with scouts, expand your nation by founding cities on city sites, exploit harvestable resources and luxuries, and recruit armies to exterminate rival nations and tribes, or negotiate and trade with them. It's your choice. Click the button at the bottom of the pop-up window. Okay, I am ready to explore. Game Essentials, well done. Now let's cover the essential items you need to know to be able to complete these tutorials. The menu button where you can exit the game is at the top left, 3 horizontal lines. Tutorial goals will be displayed at the top right, so you can refer to them easily when you get them. The minimap is at the bottom right. The cycle button is at the bottom left and will show you any actions you have left to make, one by one. And when all these actions have been cycled through, the cycle button will show the end year, and clicking it will proceed to the next turn. The buttons above the cycle button allow you to cycle through specific categories, being events, civilian units, military units, scouts, and cities. The final button, the check mark, is the end year button, which you can use if you have completed all actions you wish to perform this turn. To move the map, hold the left mouse button down and move the mouse to move the map, or if playing in full screen mode, move the cursor to the edge of the screen to make the map scroll in that direction. Zoom in and out using the middle mouse wheel, click the button at the bottom of the pop-up to continue. So far, all straightforward stuff. Orders. Orders are an important feature of Old World. Units can move multiple times each turn, but each move consumes 1 order. Other actions, such as attacking or building, also consume orders. Your available orders can be seen in the lower left corner of the leader panel beside the scroll icon. The concentric blue rings around selected unit represent the number of orders required to move a given distance. Each line passed means another order consumed to reach the destination. The rate at which you produce orders each turn is determined by your leader's legitimacy, but can also be augmented by certain improvements. You may also buy and sell orders by clicking the scroll icon in the leader panel. Orders production rates will scale with the difficulty level. Note that if you do not use all of your orders in a turn, it does not matter. Excess orders are sold off for money after you finish your turn. Let's issue some orders. Select the scout on the map by left-clicking them. Note that this goal, as with all goals, will be shown on the top right of the screen once you click the button below. So basically, unlike Civilization, where every single unit has a limited and set number of movement points per turn, you actually have a, sort of like a global movement point pool or a global action pool, and you can pile it into a single unit or spread it out across multiple units. There are still limitations. You can't just like put 1,000 movement into a single unit on a single turn. There are still some limitations. So here's our scout. It's a very nice looking game, I'll give it that. It does give me, instantly gives me Civilization 5 vibes from what I've seen of it. So we've got our scout. Near the shore of the Aegean Sea, you'll find your scout waiting for your orders. Click on the scout with the left mouse button to select him. Scouts have a longer range of vision and higher movement speed than other units, making them perfect for exploring the map. When your scout is on a hill, it can see further, but its vision range is reduced by trees. A scout is hidden when they are on a tile with trees, making them great at checking what your enemies are up to. The terrain your unit moves over will also have an impact on how far they can move each turn. Hills, sand, crossing a river, scrub and trees will add an extra movement point. Rivers within your borders only require 2/3 of a movement point, and roads within your borders or unclaimed land only require 2/3 of a movement point. Let's explore the valley, shall we? Move the scout to the north across the river by right-clicking the red highlighted tiles with the scout selected. Okay, so it's again a little bit like Civilization. Scouts can move further, they can see further, they're still impacted by certain terrain. So we can see how many orders. So we've got seven orders here. Our rate is 10, so we gain 10 orders per turn, but we've got 7. If we move here, it will only use 1 order. We'll have 6 remaining. If we use here on top of the hill, then we will use an extra order, and we will have 5 remaining. Let's just move here for now. Oh, is it right click? That's going to take some getting used to. When starting a new game in Old World, the map is as yet unexplored. The many dark corners of the world and secrets contained therein await your discovery. Send out your scout to peel back the fog and uncover mysterious ruins, hostile barbarians, and a multiplicity of tribes and other nations, and various exotic creeds you might adopt as your state religion. Rumour has it that foul barbarians are encamped at the end of the valley. Send your scout north to confirm these suspicions. Remember, each concentric blue ring around your unit indicates an order. When scouting, it is a good idea to only move up to the first blue ring each time, so that you can react to things you uncover that were hidden in the fog. So I guess in some cases that's a little bit like XCOM, where you might not necessarily want to do a dash, because if you trigger something you've kind of wasted it. Now you will see these, it hasn't told me what these are yet, but I'm guessing that these little these little white dots above the scout that are turning red are a limitation to how many actions they can take. In fact, they're down here, yeah, movements until fatigued. So fatigue units cannot move without forced march. So even though we have 7 orders, the maximum amount of, not spaces I guess, because a space isn't a single, it's not 1 order per space moved, but we can only use 4 movement, and then the unit becomes forced march, which will obviously give them some sort of penalty. So their base movement is 3, so 1 order lets them move 3 tiles. So anyway, let's start moving north up the valley. That uses another point for us. Now we're going to be going up to the clouds. Let's go and put him on a hill, because that way we can see a little further. Now we've only got 1 movement left that we can do, so let's move up here. Harvesting. You spot some ore on a hill in the distance. Ore can be turned into iron by a mine, which can in turn be turned into used to train warriors in a city. But first we need to find a city-state to build a city on. If the rumour of barbarians being encamped at the end of the valley is true, some warriors will be handy to have. Scouts can spend an order to harvest shields from harvestable resource. To do so, click on the basket button in the action panel on the left while your scout is selected and standing on the harvestable resource. So this is an important thing to know as well. But first we need to find a city-state to build a city on. So unlike Civilization, where you can build your city on absolutely any tile on the map, you cannot do that in Old World. There's only specific places you can build on. So, yeah, we've got to move here, and you can see that there's this little red icon that looks like a shield with 100. So I'm guessing that that's going to... It hasn't explained what force march is yet, but I'm guessing it's going to do something to my defense. But let's move over here. Yes, your unit is fatigued and has moved as far as it can this turn. Click the end gear button on the bottom left to proceed to the next turn. I'll wait until the next turn to continue moving. So it hasn't actually told me what fatigued means. Not yet, anyway. So we've gone to next turn. So let's move over here. So we've actually got 20 orders now. So we need to click this little basket, harvest ore. So it'll use one order and give us 10 iron ore. Your scout has harvested the ore. It may take a few turns for the tutorial gods to train some warriors for you. Continue exploring the valley with your scout. Fair enough then. So if you just move, if you don't move the full distance, so for me, an order, I can move anywhere within this blue. It says a concentric circle, but it's not really a circle, I guess. But if I only move one tile, that will consume an order and a movement point. So it's still best to sort of move the maximum I can, realistically. Let's keep going. Let's get up here. Barbarians. There we go. Your scout has revealed a barbarian hovel on the riverbank. The lush countryside surrounding the camp would be ideal for your new capital, if only those pesky barbarians weren't in the way. Fortunately, the tutorial gods have used the ore you harvested to train some warriors. Normally you would train the units in a city. The warrior is a melee unit and thus must be adjacent to an enemy unit to attack it, so nothing unexpected there. Click the warrior with your left mouse button to select it, then right click the red highlighted tile next to the barbarian camp to move there. Finally, with your warrior selected, right click on the camp to attack it. You may continue to explore with your scout, just be careful not to get too close to the barbarians with your scout in case they attack, since your scout cannot fight back. So it's a little bit different to Civilization. Scouts are not able to fight back. Okay, so we have our warrior here. Warrior only has 3 movement points. It'll take 2 movement points to move next to the barbarian camp. But there we go, and we are going to attack. Let's zoom in a little bit. Ah. Didn't see it because of the pop-up. How dare you? City sites. You've dealt some damage, but these barbarians aren't done yet. In fact, they appear to be occupying a city site. The map is full of city sites. Did I read city sites as city states incorrectly earlier? That's because I'm so used to Civilization. The map is full of city sites, which are the only locations where settlers can found new cities. Claim a city site for your nation by simply moving a unit onto it. You must defeat the barbarians before claiming the city site. Your warrior may only attack once per turn, so it will take a few turns to defeat the barbarians. The barbarians can of course attack you on their turn. Your warrior has already attacked this turn and is now on cooldown. Continue exploring with your scout and proceed to attack each turn with your warrior until you defeat the barbarians and take control of the city site. So again, while I was saying that you can't just pump all of your orders into a single unit, as well as getting fatigued if you move too far, there is also a cooldown mechanic. So there are certain things that you can only do, like, you know, a limited number of times per turn, and then you've got to wait. So can't go anywhere with the scout, so we're going to end the turn, or end the year. Our warrior does take a hit back. We will go and have a little look around with the scout, because we're really stacking up these orders. Let's go and have a look up here to the north. So we could hide in the trees. Oh, that's a big forest. Maybe we want to go around the outside of the forest. Let's attack with the warriors. We might be able to actually see this happen now. And we killed them off. We gained something for that. This thing over here, whatever that is. Stone. We gained 50 stone. So we have a city site now. While warriors have attacked. Let's end the year. Victory! I got 3 achievements for that. Ave Imperator. You have defeated the barbarians and taken control of the city-state. Nope, I made that 5 achievements. In this tutorial, we covered the basics of moving and attacking with units, map exploration, and city sites. In the next tutorial, you will found your capital and get your economy up and running. Okay, cool. So let's move on to the next tutorial. I think we've got enough time to start it on this video. So in we go. Let's just go back into... So here we are, tutorial number 2. I'm going to read it from here because it basically says exactly the same thing until you get down to this point. In this tutorial, you begin at the site of your successful battle with the barbarians from tutorial 1. You will found your capital on the city site and build up a basic economy. Let's go for that then. So far, so good. Seems relatively straightforward. I like the idea of the orders. I think it's a bit of a different way of doing things, but not a bad way of doing things. Just being different. Hello, Philip of Greece. You are the leader of your nation, or what will be your nation. You begin this tutorial at the city site you captured in the last tutorial. Your task is to found your capital and expand to 3 cities. You will develop a basic economy and research some technologies. You will also promote a unit, assign a general to the unit, and then lead that unit into battle. Philip, are you ready to found Greece, build a nation, and write your legacy? Well, I suppose so, or we won't be going anywhere in this game. The capital is an important economic and government hub at the heart of your nation. Families are the leading clans of your empire with different dispositions and conflicting interests. They are granted control of your cities, for which their particular bonuses are important to consider. You are currently playing as Philip, the ruler of Greece. Greece has the Argid... I'm going to butcher all these names, by the way. Greece has the Argid, the Cypselid, the Seleucid, and the Alcmaeonid families, possibly. When your settler is selected, hover over the family action buttons to learn what effects they apply to your cities. You may only choose 3 of the 4 families in any one game, so choose wisely. Now let's found your capital. Choose a settler and click on your families. Whenever I play a game like this, there's always names that I just cannot pronounce. Why do they do this to me? So we have our settler selected now. So blue. It wants me to pick one of these, but it doesn't really tell me what the iconography is. I mean, like, +2 little red shields a year. Oh, it's this. Training. Okay. So, +2 training a year, +50% city defense. New units start with steadfast, but I don't know what steadfast does. And +25% training. This one gives me +4 blue columns per year, whatever that is. I can't see it anywhere along the top, so I don't know what that is. New siege ship units start with ingenuity, but again, I don't know what that does. Mines and lumber mills give me 20% output. Well, that seems self-explanatory. And 2 turns fewer to build urban improvements. Okay. This one, +2 little hammers per year, so that's civics. +2 of those little columns per specialist. I mean, is that science of some description? Can hurry projects with money. Minus +1 content level per culture event. And then this one... oh, this is science. The little purple jugs. Little beakers. +2 civics per year or per turn, +1 science per specialist, -20% urban specialist costs, and unlocks inquiry. I mean, I don't know if there's a particular one that I should be taking here. Let's just go, and we know we're going to be doing some fighting, so let's just start with the first one on the list, I suppose. Now that you've founded your capital, your people have a place to generate science. Science is spent on researching technologies which unlock improvements, units, and other items. Technology works like a card deck. You will be dealt some technology cards from the top of a draw pile and may choose 1 card to research. The technology cards not chosen are then placed in the discard pile. Any new technology cards unlocked in the technology tree also get placed in the discard pile. Once the draw pile is empty, the cards in the discard pile are shuffled and put back into the draw pile. You may see what technology cards are in each pile by hovering over the card icon at the bottom left of the Choose Research window. I'm wondering, that works a little bit like Stellaris, although Stellaris still does have linear trees, but you will often get presented with, depending on your race that you're playing, you'll get presented with 3, 4 or 5 texts to choose from. Again, there is still a linear tree. Like there'll be certain prerequisites on one tech to unlock another, but you can't just you can't always guarantee you'll get the same options delivered to you on each playthrough, I guess is what I'm trying to say. As you research further into the technology tree, you will need to generate more and more science to research technologies. It is important not to let other nations get too far ahead, or at all, since they will gain access to stronger and better units before you. Now let's choose the first technology to research. Your technology hand will be shown next. Choose one of the 3 technology cards from your hand after viewing the options. The technologies you do not choose will go to the discard pile. So we have trapping. Costs us 60 science. It unlocks the slinger unit, which is a ranged infantry. So that looks like it has 20 hit points, 4 damage maybe, 2 movement, 2 range, possibly. Upgrades to an archer. Unlocks the camp improvement, which enables trappers, which gives plus 20% for adjacent lumber mills. Camels and elephants give 0.5 orders per turn, I'm guessing. Game gives us plus 2, I don't know, is that population? Possibly, I don't know. Plus 10 food. Fur gives us plus 2 of whatever those blue columns are, and plus 20, I'm going to assume that's gold, money, yeah. And leads to military drill. Then we've got shrine, also costs 60 science. Unlocks shrine improvement, so we can build a shrine to Athena that will enable the acolyte and give us 1 science per turn. One civic per turn for adjacent courthouse. The Shrine of Poseidon gives us plus 20 gold per turn, enables the acolyte and gives plus 20% for adjacent nets, so useful for coastal cities. Shrine of Hades, I'm not going to go through all of these, but... And then we've got administration. Again, 60 technology to unlock. On completion we get 100 gold or 100 money, plus 10 gold per year. Professional army, so plus 2 training. Babylonia... We're not playing as Babylonia, so that probably doesn't count for us. Leads to Treasury 2. Unlocks the Granary. So it's probably between trapping and administration. I think it might be nice to get the... We're going to get more techs anyway, so let's go administration first. Although that is recommended. It does actually say it's recommended. Yeah, let's go for trapping then. I'm fine with that. That's what it's recommended. The worker is used to build infrastructure in your nation. You will need many workers to support your nation's economy. As a suggestion, you should consider at least 1 worker per city and a few extras to build roads or assist where needed. So again, this sounds very much like Civilization 5, where workers essentially have infinite charges and you can keep using them, unlike the builders in Civilization 6, where they have a limited number of uses and then they expire. There are 2 main types of improvements, rural and urban. Rural improvements include farms, mines, quarries and others. Rural improvements may be built on any non-urban tile provide yield to your city. Resources such as wheat and ore provide bonuses when the correct improvement is built on them, and a specialist is built to work the improvement. Mountain ranges provide a bonus to any quarry built adjacent to them. Urban improvements include the barracks, Odeon and others. Urban improvements will expand your urban area by transforming the terrain underneath to urban. An urban improvement may also have a specialist which gives your city extra bonuses. An urban specialist may be raised from apprentice to master and finally to elder. Each level increases the bonuses a city receives from the urban improvement. Let's start building the economy of our capital by building some rural improvements. To the north there is a wheat tile. Move your worker onto the wheat tile and build a farm. From the list of improvements in the action panel on the left of the screen. Improvements take a few turns to complete, so again it is like workers in Civilization 5. It's not instant like in Civ 6, but in Civ 5 it takes several turns. Improvements take a few turns to complete, during which time your worker will use 1 order per turn until the improvement is finished. Note that your worker has a hammer banner, your warrior has a sword banner, and your scout has an eyeglass banner. I will build a farm with my worker. And there's the wheat over there. And I certainly will do that, but I am going to do that on the next turn because we've gone over the 20-minute mark. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video. the next one, obviously, we're going to continue with this tutorial. We should get some insight into city building. I don't think it's going to take too long to get through all of these tutorials. I'm guessing just a few videos. It's taking a little bit longer at the moment because I'm reading out the text on every pop-up. But I suspect this series will only be a few videos long. And then we'll jump into a proper game without too much hand-holding. So thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you on the next video. And until then, goodbye for now.